Hi there, my name's Graham Barnes. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the recruitment coordinator for the Faculty of Environment here at the University of Waterloo. And today I'm going to walk through why environment at Waterloo. So as you can see, we're going to give you a bit of a rundown of our faculty as a whole. In addition to that, give you a better idea of our community, why we're a powerhouse when it comes to research, and the types of careers that you can get from completing a degree in the Faculty of Environment. And of course, you're probably wondering how you can get to that end goal. It'll be through one of our 10 direct entry programs, which we'll cover in detail as well. So when we think about the environment, what comes to mind? Oceans, forests, melting glaciers, polar bears, greenhouse gases, conservation. But there's so much more to the environment than that. You're joining us today because you have an interest in the environment. But what interests you most? Maybe you're passionate about ecology or climate change or environmental science. Maybe ocean life is your interest. Or maybe you have an interest in social media, marketing, or finance and want to use your business skills to create change from within large companies and corporations. Whatever your passion, you'll find your fit in environment. Now you might be wondering how. Well, anything is possible in environment, and I'd like you to let me show you. And I'll show you with this example using some environmental data and research from our very own Faculty of Environment. In 2018, over 70% of Canadians lived in a metropolitan area. And as we move away from living on farms and in small towns, we have to adapt communities and our landscapes to fit our needs. Oftentimes, that means repurposing farm or previously forested areas to do so. More streets, roads, and fields means less runoff can be absorbed in the spring when the snow melts or when extreme weather occurs. At the same time, we're experiencing warmer temperatures due to climate change, leading to more frequent and extreme rainfall and flooding. Heavy rainfall is one of the major factors in flash flooding, which is particularly dangerous in urban areas. Now, at the University of Waterloo, our research has found that these floods cause catastrophic losses to Canadians and cost us $1 billion per year. And the crazy part of all this is that most Canadians actually don't realize that they might be living in a flood zone themselves. Now, how do you solve the problems that climate change brings, like extreme flooding? The truth is, there is no one-size-fits-all solution to the climate crisis. We need interdisciplinary approaches, new technologies, social innovation, better information, and deeper understandings of natural and societal processes to address the complex environmental and social challenges of our century. We need highly trained and passionate big thinkers to work for large and small businesses, elementary schools and universities, local, provincial, and federal governments to create that change. We need to work together to protect our communities. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. And that's where we come in. In July of 1969, the Division of Environmental Studies was created at the University of Waterloo, and over the past 5 decades, the division has transformed from its humble but aspirational origins to become Canada's largest Faculty of Environment. And since its inception, the Faculty of Environment has been home to more than 16,000 alumni who now live in 89 countries around the globe, including ecologists, geographers, knowledge integrators, pilots, planners, and scientists, as well as experts in corporate sustainability, economic development, environmental governance, geomatics, green business, policy analysis, and tourism. The list just goes on. In 50 years, the Faculty of Environment has transformed itself from being the problem framers to becoming the problem solvers. Now, speaking of problem solvers, I want to take a minute to touch on our student community because we feel that this is one of 3 big pillars within the Faculty of Environment that really allows us to stand out. Our student community is a tight-knit bunch and we're very appealing. And that means to you that you're going to be amongst classmates that share the same values and visions as you in terms of making the world a better place. And that's something to get really excited about. The second pillar here is our incredible research opportunities within the Faculty of Environment. Within our faculty, there are 8 research centers that are either led or affiliated, which means to you, you'll get a lot of different opportunities depending on your interests and goals to get involved with research right at the undergraduate level, whether that's working with a faculty member or taking different professional development courses. You can really immerse yourself and become an expert within an area that interests you and be a part of a solution to problems that we currently face in the world. And finally, our third pillar, careers. We know that there is an urgent need for change. There's also an urgent need for people with the skills and ideas to make change happen. Canada's environmental workforce is aging and opening the doors to new career professionals looking to make an impact with the work that they do. And overall, careers in clean energy, environmental science, policymaking, and planning are on the rise, predicted to create as many as 24 million new jobs in the next decade alone. And as an environment grad, you'll help companies create and integrate sustainable practices. You'll develop policies to help governments and cities make environmental and resource targets. You'll monitor and manage species, wetlands, or communities to ensure a healthy environment. With our hands-on education supported by field courses, access to our world-class ecology and computer labs, workshops, co-op placements, and entrepreneurship opportunities, students will be ready to take on the challenges that we currently face. And just like the ever-changing workforce, our programs have evolved as well. We've adjusted our curriculum to meet the need of our ever-changing climate. New areas of study are cropping up all the time, like climate change, net zero, green finance, and more. How you get involved in these topics is entirely up to you with one of our 10 direct entry programs. You're going to find that right fit. You just might have to compare some of them to ensure that you're in the right one for you. Regardless of the program you choose, you'll engage with some of Canada's top professors and do in-depth analyses of topics like community transit, ecosystem restoration, corporate social responsibility, fair housing, and clean drinking water access. Then you'll learn how to take that knowledge you gain from the classroom and mobilize it in your community, abroad, or your workplace. So without further ado, let's dive into our first of our 10 programs, our brand new Bachelor of Science program, Climate and Environmental Change, which you can see has co-op as an opportunity. So if you'd like to make your degree 5 years instead of 4, but earn 20 months of paid work experience as you go through your degree, many programs within our Faculty of Environment do allow that option. And within Climate and Environmental Change specifically, we just expect to have around 25 students per year in our incoming cohort. To give you a little bit more background on the program, this is a program specifically for you if you're interested in addressing climate change from the science angle, really using environmental science to help address problems that we know will come up further into the future. So this program is really meant to get ahead of those issues and allow you to think and work in a practical way to apply solutions as our world continuously changes and evolves. It really allows you to customize into one of our 3 specializations in geomatics, economy and society, or aviation. And in terms of careers, you have a wide variety of options, all within the environmental science and climate realm, to allow you to pursue those different interests that you might have as you begin your journey into the program. Next up, we have our Environment and Business program, which is a Bachelor of Environmental Studies. A unique benefit of being a dedicated faculty of environment, we can award our Bachelor of Environmental Studies to really speak to the specificity of the degree that you're earning here at the University of Waterloo. This is a co-op only program, meaning that the traditional 4-year degree type is not available for this program in particular, and we expect to admit right around 100 students every year. Now, Environment and Business is a really unique program, one of the only of its kind in all of North America, because you, of course, are getting that business foundation like any business program would. You're also taking some environmental studies courses. And then to integrate those two, you have environment and business specific courses, which you can see on the bottom left of your screen. Courses like environmental management systems, green life cycle ecology, green marketing, etc. So the program really allows you to dig into that specific intersection of environment and business and find solutions and be a leader positioned to be forward thinking in the business space. And you can sort of achieve that and apply that through our capstone project that environment and business students do in their 4th year, where you're working with an actual, typically private sector client and you work in a group of other senior environment and business students to create recommendations for them to apply based off of some of the challenges they're having in their business operations. Next, our Environment, Resources, and Sustainability Program, or ERS for short, because that is a bit of a mouthful. This is also a Bachelor of Environmental Studies degree. Co-op is available, so you do have that option, and we expect to admit around 80 students on an annual basis. Now, Environment, Resources, and Sustainability is a very flexible program that's holistic and multidisciplinary, meaning that you're going to look at environment and sustainability related issues from all angles and really consider all aspects as you work towards solutions. So as you can see, you're going to be covering everything from ecosystems to policy, and you'll have the opportunity to really specialize into different spaces, whether that's ecological restoration or sustainability as a discipline itself. And your careers are quite diverse as well, because depending on your interests, you can go more of the pure science route, or maybe you're more passionate about policy and social impact, and you choose more of that approach. And the options are quite flexible and nearly endless with ERS. Next, we have our Geography and Aviation program, another BES, and this program is regular only, meaning that co-op is not offered. That's really because all of your experiential education is going to be coming through your flight training. Becoming a professional pilot takes a lot of time and energy after all, and so you're going to be focusing all your talents in the skies. Now, this is specifically the program for you if you know you want to be a professional commercial pilot for a career. This is a very specialized program in that regard, as you'll be earning your Bachelor of Environmental Studies degree from the University of Waterloo, and both your private and commercial pilot's licenses from the Waterloo Wellington Flight Center, our partnered flight institution. So as you graduate, you'll have your licenses as well as your degree to literally take flight in your career as you become a captain of a commercial airline or choose to operate out of a different business or a private practice as well. The opportunities are quite endless, but we are here to support you along the way, as Waterloo's aviation program is the largest university level aviation program of its kind in Canada. And the aviation industry is very network heavy. So having the most amount of alumni in those professional fields will really allow you to make the connections you need to be successful as you graduate from the program. In addition to that support in our alumni network, you'll also have the benefit of our career partner pathways. As you can see on the slide in the bottom right, you'll have the opportunity to interview with Sunwing or Jazz or Porter Airlines for an opportunity to be directly hired into their organization to continue your flight hours and your professional career that way. Next, we have our Geography and Environmental Management program, which we call GEM for short, because it's another mouthful. This BES program does offer co-op, and we just expect around 45 students on an annual basis. This program, similar to ERS, is quite flexible, and we're very proud of our geography department here at the University of Waterloo, as they are ranked top 5 in Canada for the discipline. And for this program, you're really going to be given the opportunity to focus and interact with all 3 disciplines within geography. We're talking human geography, technical geography, and physical geography. So as you find your interest as you go through the program, you may choose to specialize in one of those or in any sort of combination to really meet your interests and find a career path that works best for you. So within this program, there are many opportunities for field trips. If you're interested in getting your hands dirty, this is also comparable with our Environment, Resources, and Sustainability program. And these field trips could look like something within the province of Ontario, within Canada, or the Arctic, or Germany, or Indonesia. So there's lots of opportunity for you to apply what you've learned in the classroom in these real-world environments, which is really exciting. Next, we have our Geomatics program. If you'll recall, we were just talking about those 3 pillars of geography. Geomatics specifically dives into the technical geography pillar of those 3. So with Geomatics, you do have co-op available as an option to get that paid work experience as you go through. And we expect to admit just around 50 students on an annual basis. So as I mentioned, you're really focusing on technical geography as well as spatial data and information and computer programming, including coding and using Waterloo's world-renowned computer science program to take courses and allow yourself to become a specialist in this area to be an expert and use large data sets to inform decisions to help make the world a better place, or improve some other location-based information system. So as you can see, you get a lot of training through different software and technology, and your career options are quite broad in the sense that you have that flexibility to really apply that sort of tech-focused savvy in an industry or direction that you care most about. And now we have international development, one of the smaller programs in the Faculty of Environment, offering a Bachelor of Environmental Studies. Co-op is not offered for this program, and we'll get into why on the next slide, but we admit just around 10 students to the program on an annual basis. So this is another program that's quite multidisciplinary, so looking at issues in a variety of ways, because there typically isn't one solution to a development problem. So you'll be combining environmental studies and social sciences as well as management practices to help improve the world. You'll also be considering cultural and societal lenses as you try to implement yourself into the real world that way. Now, I mentioned on the previous slide that co-op is not available for this program, and that's partially because of the experiential learning that you'll get to do in the form of an 8-month placement in your 4th year to a developing nation. You can see some examples on the slide here. It's a really incredible way to get some practical real-world experience, specifically within the international development sort of umbrella or field. So really valuable that way for our students. And if that's not of interest to you, you do have an option to complete a research thesis instead. Next, we have our Knowledge Integration program, which is the only program in North America that offers a Bachelor of Knowledge Integration. And this is another program where your experiential learning will come outside of the co-op realm, so co-op is not available. And we expect around 20 students on an annual basis in this program. So this is really the program for you if you're in high school right now or later on in life, and you know that you're interested in arts, you're interested in science, maybe you like math or you're interested in math, and you want a program that really allows you to explore all of those in different ways. That would be knowledge integration, because you are really able with this flexible program to go in many different areas. And we really like to say about this program that you are able to design your own education. So coming out of it, you can see our graduates go into many different fields, whether that's data science and software development, being a teacher or a lawyer or a doctor, etc. It's incredibly flexible that way. And your experiential learning will come from a museum course where you'll be in Europe, engaging in a cultural center, as well as in your 4th year completing a thesis project based off of your experiences in the program overall. And we're nearly done here. Thanks for sticking with me. And next up, we have our planning program, which is our last Bachelor of Environmental Studies for today. It's also a co-op only program, which has to do with our accreditation that I'll speak to on the next slide in a little bit more detail. This is the largest program here in the Faculty of Environment at Waterloo, where we expect at least 130 students on an annual basis starting the program. Now with planning, this is the program for you if you're interested in the development of communities, whether that's towns, cities, or neighborhoods. Instead of designing a single building like an architect would, you're designing those entire communities. The purpose of planners is really to create places that people want to live in. How do we make cities more desirable places to live, as well as healthier places and more equitable places and places with better transportation? Within our program, we're very proud of it because it is one of 2 undergraduate programs in Ontario that is accredited by the Canadian Institute of Planners. That basically means as you complete the program, you'll have advanced standing to become a professional planner, which is the same type of designation in a professional sense as a professional engineer. So you're really working towards a specific designation that shows that you know what you're talking about when it comes to this discipline. So that's why you can see many of the careers have planner in the name, because that's quite often the end goal for our students. And finally, we've made it to the 10th out of 10. I wanted to talk to you about our Sustainability and Financial Management program, the unique BSFM degree. This is a co-op only program, and co-op is built into it, and there's no regular stream option, and we expect around 60 students on an annual basis. So this is really the program for you if environment and business might have piqued your interest a little bit earlier, but you know you want a professional business designation to go with being an environment-focused leader of tomorrow. With the BSFM degree, you're going to have the opportunity to become a CFA or a CPA through your choices in the degree. As you can see, you have that CPA pathway through corporate sustainability, or the government policy and financial markets pathway for the CFA pathway. And in addition to that, we offer our Indigenous entrepreneurship path as well, if you're interested in entering that space. And as you can see, in terms of careers, you're going to be that type of business professional. So whether that's an analyst or accountant, you'll be positioning yourself to be a leader, typically in one of the big four firms within Canada or internationally. But your career is entirely up to you. So whether that's starting your own business, working in a startup, etc., the opportunities are really fulsome with this program. Now that concludes my rundown of all 10 of our undergrad programs here in the Faculty of Environment, but I also wanted to take a minute to remind you that our degrees offer varying levels of flexibility. So within that, you can add other areas of interest or focus to your undergrad experience here at the University of Waterloo within the Faculty of Environment. So whether that's taking a business option to one of our more environmental sciencey sort of focused programs, or taking a formal minor, which will appear right on your undergraduate degree when you graduate in one of the areas that you can see listed here, or a diploma, which is sort of a smaller area of specialization to really show that you stand out and are a professional in a specific way. There's a lot of flexibility in many of our programs to add these different things in to really make your entire undergraduate experience exactly what you want it to be. Now you might be saying, well, Graham, that all sounds swell, but how do I actually get into your programs? I would say that's a great question, and hopefully these next slides give you very clear answers. So these next slides offer a few charts to hopefully logically break this down for you. And on the slides are our Ontario requirements. I encourage you to check out our undergraduate programs website, which will offer different admission requirements depending on where you're tuning in from and watching this video. So as you can see in the top row here, we have many of our programs actually only require grade 12 university level English with a minimum of 70%. So the way this works is that's one program. And within the Ontario system, you need 5 other programs or courses in your grade 12 year to make 6 total. And it's these 6 that will make your admissions average, in which overall we expect you to be in the low 80s for these programs. Next, we have our climate and environmental change program, which you can see does still require that English, but then also requires any grade 12 U-level math. So that could be data management, calculus, or advanced functions, and then one of chemistry or physics. So if you're keeping track at home, that's 3 courses, and so we'd need 3 more to make up that top 6 admissions average for that overall grade. Next, we have our geography and aviation program. So you can see, again, we need that English, we need that math. And with geography and aviation, it's a bit more unique. So we'll also be looking for a Transport Canada Category 1 medical certificate to basically show that you have a clean bill of health so you can safely operate a giant machine that flies through the air. And in addition to that, we'll expect that you complete a program briefing session with our Waterloo Wellington Flight Center, our partner flight institution. That's an information session available virtually on a monthly basis. So I'm going to keep it snappy here because I think you're starting to see how this goes. We have the program on the left, required courses on the right. For geomatics, our next program, you just need your grade 12 English and math at the U level and 4 more courses to make that top 6. For knowledge integration, we're interested in students that have an interest in many different disciplines and areas of study. So we'll need that English as well as a science and a math, as well as 3 additional courses. For planning, we just need that English with a minimum of 75%, so a little bit higher there. And for all these programs, again, this is a minimum of a low 80s overall for your required admission average to be a candidate for admission. For geography and aviation, it would be a mid 80s minimum. And then finally, we have our sustainability and financial management program, which again has a mid 80s overall average minimum. And within that, within your average, you need to have your English, as well as specifically advanced functions, as well as calculus for your required courses as you consider applying to that program. And when do you have to get organized by? We'll run through that with you right now very quickly, just so you're not panicking and you have a good idea of what to expect. So if you're currently a grade 12 high school student in Ontario and you're applying to university, you'll need to submit your application on the Ontario University Application Centre website by January 12th, 2023. For those of you who are applying from outside of Ontario, or maybe you've taken a little bit of a break from high school, that's totally fine with us. And your deadline is February 1st, 2023. And we made it to the very last slide. Thank you so much for sticking with me today. On the screen, you can see a variety of ways to stay in touch with us. We highly encourage you to reach out via email if you have any questions, and connect with us on Instagram as well as YouTube, as there's a lot of great content there to help you understand a little bit more about our 10 programs, as I know I was speaking pretty fast through all of the options today. So we highly encourage you to stay connected there, and you can utilize the URL to download brochures if you're looking for an actual PDF copy, or if you'd like a physical copy of our brochures mailed to your home address for free. So happy to offer that service. And thank you so much for tuning in today to learn more about the Faculty of Environment undergrad programs at the University of Waterloo.